In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this professional lawyer website using the WordPress platform and a free theme called Astra WP. So if we scroll down here, you can see it's a very professional theme. It has an About Us section. It has a section that says why choose your company, and all of this we're going to customize for your business. It has a list of companies that they're associated with or that you're associated with. And if there are no companies you're associated with, we can replace this with something else, or we can just get rid of this section altogether. It has a section that says our areas of practice. And if we go down, it has a video. If you don't have a video, that's totally fine. We can replace this section with all types of different content. And one thing I do like is the testimonials at the bottom of this page. So it has 3 testimonials here. Now, most likely, even though that you probably do have some testimonials for your business, you probably don't have images for each testimonial. So I'll show you how we can deal with that. And at the bottom, we have a contact form, and all this text can be changed. The form can be customized. The phone number can, of course, be customized to your business's phone number. At the bottom, we have the logo, which we're going to customize for your business. I'm going to show you how to get a professional logo for only $10. There's an About section that has all the different pages on the website. There's a practice areas section that has all the different areas of practice, which we can customize to say whatever we want, or we can leave it blank. And then there's a working hours that tells the visitor what hours you work. So this website is very professional, and there's multiple pages. You can see the About page here, right? Has some text. So this is a placeholder text. So this is an actual website of a real lawyer. This is meant to be customized for your business. There's a picture of the lawyer with a quote to the right, and there's a nice handwritten signature that you can actually copy if you want, and I can show you how to do that. We scroll down, we have the companies that is associated with the lawyer. Of course, these are all placeholders. Again, if you don't have any, we can get rid of it or replace it with something else. There's an Our History section, which has different years with placeholder text. And then there's, again, the Why Choose Your Company with 4 bullet points with headings, followed by placeholder text. And again, the testimonials, which I think is a great thing to have on an About page, followed by a contact form. So very professional website. We're going to make this from start to finish. There's also more pages like the attorney's page, which I'll scroll through real quickly. There's a practice areas page, which we'll look at. And this is customized for a personal injury lawyer, so you may be looking at these images and some of this text and saying, well, how does this apply to my business? And this is all just placeholder, so I'm going to show you how to customize this website 100% for your business. And then the contact page, which I think should always have a Google Maps, and sure enough, this contact page does right at the bottom. So this is a website we're going to make. Now, this website is totally free, and we're going to use a visual editor. That means no code to very little code. So we're going to be making this entire website, and you don't even have to have any knowledge of HTML or CSS, which is the typical languages that the web is created in. No knowledge of JavaScript either. For this tutorial, we're going to want to use Firefox or Chrome. I'm currently using Firefox, so if you don't have Firefox, what you're going to want to do is download it from firefox.com. You can also use Chrome, and Chrome should work just fine. I'm going to take you by the hand, and we're going to go through this from start to finish. So the only thing that we do need is some web hosting. Now, you can think of web hosting as the host that stores the files for your website. The web host also gives away a free domain. So a domain name is basically yourcompany.com. And you're going to get that for free with the web host I'm going to recommend. The good news is I've tried a few web hosts, and this web host that I'm going to recommend to you is blazing fast. And it's going to have 24/7 customer support, which is really important when you're using a web host. So what you're going to want to do is go to the video description below this video, and there's going to be a link right at the top for SiteGround hosting. So you're going to want to click that link. It is an affiliate link. I just want you to know that I feel very confident in the performance of this web host. So if we go down, when you click that link, you're going to want to click on WordPress hosting, where it says view plans. And then there's three options. We have startup, grow big, or go geek. So they're each very heavily discounted. For example, startup is $2.99 per month for the first year. The difference between each one is basically how many websites you get. Basically, if you have only one website, you're going to want to pick startup, and most likely most of you are only going to want one website, so in that case you're going to want to click on the startup plan. If you need more than one website, you're going to want to go with the grow big plan, which gives you unlimited websites. And then for the go geek plan, this is for people that have websites that get a significant amount of traffic, where you can expect 400,000 visits per month, which most of us are not going to expect. So I'm just going to click on startup because I only have one website. So I click on get plan. You're going to see there's a period section. So this is where you can pick either 1 month, 12 months, or 24 months. 1 month is the worst deal because it's $25, and where you can get 12 months of hosting for only $35.88, and you get a free domain with that. So I think it really makes the most sense to go with at least 12 months. If you click on 24 months, you're going to have to pay $7.49, but that's still not too bad. So the best deal, in my opinion, is to go with 12 months and pay for only $2.99 per month. So if we scroll down, you can put in your billing information and then go to the next page. And once you have your web hosting, you're going to be able to get your own domain name. So when you get to the part that you have to get your own domain name, you're going to want to pick yourdomain.com. So for example, if your business name is Mike and John, then you would put mikeandjohn.com. I always recommend going with the .com. If you can't find a domain that has a .com that's not already taken, you can also pick .net or .org. But my opinion, I would always go with .com as a first choice. So once you log in your SiteGround web host, you're going to see My Websites and Services, and underneath that you should see Websites, and it should say You Have No Websites. So what we're going to want to do is click up Setup Site. If you didn't already get the domain during the checkout process, this is where you would do it. This is the first thing that we have to do. So you would hit Select, and then where it says Find Your Domain Name, you'd have to type in domain. For example, johnsonandharmon.com. And then SiteGround will tell us if the domain is available or not. And it looks like mine is available. I have to pay $17.99 for me, but you won't have to pay that since your domain came for free with whatever tier of service that you selected. So go through this process, and once you have your domain, we'll move on to the next section. And it's going to give you the option to start a new website or to migrate from an existing project. We're going to start a new website, so click on Select. Where it says Choose Application, we're going to select WordPress. And where it says Set Up Login, you're going to want to type in your email address and put in a password. For the password, generally you're going to want to have at least one uppercase letter, 1 or 2 digits, and at least one symbol. So once you have all that set up, just click on Continue. So this gives you the option for Site Scanner. So this is just some added security. We don't need this, so we're just going to click on Finish, which means it's not going to be added. So now we just have to wait for SiteGround to create our site. So right now it's creating our WordPress installation. So we just have to give it a minute or two to finish completing. So once it's done creating your website, you're going to see your website with domain, yourdomain.com has been created, And then it says check out our tips on how to proceed to manage your website. So I'm going to click on where it says go to site tools. So click on site tools. And then I'm going to click on WordPress, or where it says install and manage WordPress. So what you're going to want to do is select where it says domain, and you're going to want to right click and click on copy. And if you're on a Mac, you don't have a right click necessarily. You're just going to want to do Command C to copy, and you're going to want to open a new tab. And if you're on Mac, you're going to want to do Command V. Now don't hit enter just yet. Once you paste it in, you're going to want to type WP-admin / and then hit enter. This is where we type in the username and password that we set up when we created the website. So I have mine already pre-selected because I already have this set up from before. Your browser may also remember it from when you set it up on SiteGround. So log in with the credentials that you gave SiteGround, and it says welcome to your WordPress website. We're going to skip this and click where it says exit wizard. Now we're going to want to click on appearance and go to themes, and we're going to want to click on add new theme. Then you're going to want to go where it says search, and you're going to want to type in Astra and click on search. You can see Astra is the first thing that comes up. Click on install. Once it's installed, you can click on the activate button. Now we're going to want to go and refresh the page. So go to the top of your browser and click on the reload button. Once we reload, we can see that Astra is on the left hand side of the WordPress dashboard. Now we're going to want to go and mouse over Astra and click where it says dashboard. Here we're going to want to install the starter templates plugin by clicking install. Once that's activated, you can go to the starter templates tab. Oh, sometimes this might come up. Sometimes this may come up on its own, but if it doesn't come up on its own, there's actually a tab on the top of the screen where you can click on starter templates. But for me, it's coming up on its own. So you'll just have to see what happens for you. So this screen is basically saying we can select a template or we can use an AI website builder. I've actually tried the AI website builder and it's not bad, but we're going to click on classic starter templates and click on build with templates. Where it says select page builder, we're going to select Elementor. And where it says search for starter templates, we're going to want to type in law. Once you give it a second to load, you're going to see this very professional theme right here where it says personal injury and accident lawyers in Nevada. Select that theme and we're going to go through the process of installing it. First it says logo. So I'm going to show you how to get your own professional logo for your business if you don't already have one. If you already have one, you can use that. But for right now, we're just going to want to click on skip and continue. This is where we can select our default color scheme. So you can see there's different colors we can use. And you can select any one of these if you want to customize your website. You can see there's like a green color right here. There's a blue color. I'm going to select the default colors because I don't mind the default color scheme. But I can show you how to change these in the future as well. So for right now, if you pick a color scheme and you decide you don't like it down the line, I can show you how to change it down the line. Next is our fonts. I'm going to want to change the fonts personally. I don't really like the font. So I'm going to scroll down where it says Rubik Carla and see how that looks. That doesn't look too bad, but I'm going to try some different ones. This one looks pretty good, but I like Open Sans the most. So I'm going to click on Open Sans, but you can pick whatever font combination looks best to you. And once you found the font that works best for you, you're going to want to click on continue. Now we get to a page where it says, okay, just one last step. It asks you for some information like your name and your email, but I found that you don't actually have to put that in. You're going to want to go down and where it says share non-sensitive data. In my opinion, I don't like sharing data So I'm going to uncheck that box and leave the rest checked. And then I'm going to click on submit and build my website. Now it says we are building your website, and this part takes just a couple seconds to finish. And once it finishes, we can move on to the next part of building our website. You can see it only took 13 seconds to build, and that's a testament to how good of a web host that SiteGround really is. Because I've done this exact steps on other web hosts that I won't name here, and it has taken over a minute to complete. Now we can click on view your website, and you can see just like that we already have the template loaded on your.com. It's pretty awesome, right? That was pretty quick. We already have a complete website from start to finish loaded on your.com. All we have to do is customize it. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is change this background right here. So for this background, what you could do, you could use a photo of yourself that has a blank part to the right of your photo. So you can see this photograph has a picture of two lawyers, and to the right is blank. So you would want a photograph where you're standing to the left and that there's a blank part to your right. Or you don't even have to do that. You could just select any photograph you want. Personally, I'm going to use a photograph from a free image database called Pixabay, and this is just to show you that there's over 4 million images that are free, royalty free, that you can use in your website, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So go to the plus icon at the top of the page in your Firefox and type in pixabay.com. That's Pixa bay.com, and there's multiple images that are related to law. If we search for lawyer or law, I'm going to type in law, and you're going to see multiple images that are related to law. I'm just going to keep scrolling down until I find one that I like for a background. Let's say you liked this picture right here. You could click this and then go to the right where it says download, and you're going to want to select the 1920 by 1056 and click on download. So this is an absolutely royalty-free image that you can use for your website. So once you've done that, you're going to want to go back to your website, and you're going to want to click on edit with Elementor where it says right here at the top of this page. It gives you a notification about the power of Elementor AI. We can simply click the X button to close out of this. We're going to want to right click to the top left of this image and click on Edit Container. Next, we're going to want to click on where it says Style, and you can see this is where the image is that's being used for this background. So like I said, you could use an image of yourself with some blank space to your right, or you can use an image of yourself without some blank space to your right and simply darken the image. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So I'm going to click on choose image. I'm going to go to upload files right here. I'm going to want to go to select files, and I'm going to want to find the image that I just downloaded in my downloads folder. Double click it, and it's going to upload it to your website. Now here we're just going to have a title. So you're going to want to erase the title, and you're going to want to type in whatever type of lawyer you are. And for example, if you specialize in one type of law like real estate, you're going to want to type real estate lawyer and then the area that you practice out of. So I'm going to type, for example, Atlanta, GA. Then you're going to want to select all of that, right click, go to copy, or do Command C if you're on Mac. And then you're going to want to go to Alt Text, right click and paste, or do Command V if you're on Mac. And then you're going to want to click on select. And this is for SEO purposes. And here's the image of the gavel that we just selected, or that I selected. And you can see it has some white text upon it that is kind of going in and out. Like now I don't see the text and now I do. So for example, you can see that this picture is a little too bright for the text on the right. So what we're going to want to do is right click and go to edit container. And we're going to want to scroll down to background overlay. And where it says background type, there's a little button that looks like a paintbrush. You're going to want to click that where it says classic. And you're going to want to go to where it says opacity. And we're going to want to set this to like 0.57. So that's a good start, but we need to choose a color. So where it says color, we're going to want to click on that little, looks like a globe icon where it says default. And we're going to want to pick a black color. So I'm going to click right here where it says theme color 2. For me, theme color 2 is a black color. If you don't have a black color, you can click to the right and simply select black with a color picker. You can see by selecting black and choosing opacity to 0.57, now the image becomes darker and it looks much better. So that's great. We selected a new background, and if you have a picture of yourself, you can use it right here. Let's go back to Pixabay, and just as an example, type in professional businessman. And this is just to show you an example. So we want an image that goes from left to right. So that, in other words, we want a wide image. We don't want an image that goes from the top down like most of these images are. So this picture right here, or something like this would work. This is a fashion photograph. I'm just going to show you as an example. You can skip this section if you want. I just want to show you some different backgrounds and how they look. So now that I downloaded that, I'm going to go to right click and go to edit container again. And I'm going to want to click on choose image. I'm going to want to go to upload files. Go to select files and then upload the new image that I just downloaded. Again, I'm going to want to type in real estate lawyer. This is again, if you're a real estate lawyer. If you're a different type of lawyer, or if you're just a lawyer that practices in many different areas, then you would just type lawyer and the area that you practice out of. So I'm going to type Atlanta, GA. I'm going to select this, right click, copy, click up where it says alt text, right click, paste, and then click select. So here's the image that we just selected, and you can see there's already the background overlay. So this is already being darkened, and you can kind of see what this image looks like with the text. And you can see it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look great because there's all this empty space to the left. So let's say this was an image that we wanted to use. We could right click this container right here and click on edit container. And what we could do is change this container so that it's not all the way to the right. So if you click on advanced, you could see it says 50% margin to the left. If you double click that and type 0, you can see that it moves everything to the left. So I'm going to leave everything to the right. And I'm just going to use an image that accommodates having the text to the right. Now here's the background, and I think this is a pretty professional looking image for my demo website. So this is the picture that I'm going to leave for my website. You can pick whatever you want for your website. You could use this image or you could use a different image. It's totally up to you. Just make sure it's a really good image, because this is the image that everyone's going to see once they visit your website. Next, we're going to want to adjust the header. So we're going to want to click on update and then click the back arrow. And then we're going to want to go to where it says customize. And then we're going to want to go to where it says header builder. And then you see it says site title and logo. So at this point, this is where we can talk about getting a logo for your business. So if you have a logo for your business, you don't have to do this. You can just select the logo that you already have for your business. However, your logo may not be suited for this website. you need the logo to be suitable for your website. So I'm going to show you a website where you can have a graphic designer work on your existing logo or a brand new logo to make it fit your website. And that website is called Fiverr.com with 2 R's. So go to the right where there's a plus and click on the plus and type in Fiverr with 2 R's.com. Next, we're going to want to go to graphic and design, and we're going to want to click on logo design. Next, we're going to want to select the budget. You can select however much you're willing to pay. I personally like to stay around $10 for logos, but you can pay much more than that. And that's not to say that logos aren't worth much more than $10. That's just to say that I personally have had great results finding logos that are very professional for only $10. So that's the budget that I choose personally for me, but it's completely up to you. So then you're going to want to go down and scroll and look at all the different graphic designers, and then you're going to want to pick the graphic designer that's done the work that resonates with you the most. So you can see that this graphic designer here is showcasing their work and it looks very professional. So if you liked this graphic designer, you can simply click on continue, and then once you do this, you can see that there's a basic package for this graphic art designer for only $5. You get one logo with a JPG, PNG, and 3D mockup. So what you want to do for the graphic design logo is 2 things. This is very important. You're going to want to remember this. The first thing is you're going to want to give the graphic designer an address to your website. So if your website is yourbusiness.com, you're going to want to give that to your graphic designer so they can see the background that you've chosen. This is why we chose the image first before we went down this path. So I would say, hey, I just want to show you my website. Can you make a logo, if you don't have one, that matches the background of this website? And can you give it to me? This is the important part. Whether it's an existing logo that you already have that you want modified, or whether it's a new logo, this is the important part. You're going to want to say, can you please give it to me in PNG format so that there's a transparent background? Thank you. And that is very important because the transparent background will make your logo look good on any background. This logo right here, I'm not actually sure whether this has a black background. I don't think it does. I think this logo is transparent, and if we click on open image and new tab, you can see that we can't even see the logo, and that's because this is a image that has a transparent background. We do see though that this logo uses white text. So for example, if you're using a dark image, which is most likely what you're going to use, an image that has some amount of darkness to it, you might want to use a version of your logo or a new logo that has a white color scheme to it. That's just my recommendation depending on the type of background you use, but it's completely up to you. So that's how you can get an image for your background. And all you have to do is, once you get your PNG transparent logo from Fiverr, is simply click on change logo and then click on your new logo, and then you're good to go. Now all we have to do is click on this arrow right here and go back and click on where it says button. So this is where it says call 123-456-7890. So we're going to change this. So we're going to put +1 860. Now this is a fake number. Now you can see once I put this in, how professional does that look? You can see it automatically put in the new phone number and everything simply lines up. It's so awesome how easy it is to use with WordPress. The next thing we're going to want to do is where it says link, we're going to want to erase the hashtag, because that means when someone clicks this button, go nowhere, and that's not what we want to do. So we're going to want to erase that, type the word tel, T-E-L, put a colon, and then we're going to want to put the number 1 for the country code. If we're in the US, put number 1. If you're in a different country, put your country's country code. Then you're going to want to type in the phone number for your business. So I'm going to type 860 and then click on publish. And what that just did is when someone is using a mobile device and they go to your website and they click that button, it's going to open up the phone and dial the number to your business. So it's very important that you do that. Once we've done that, click on this button here to go back. And now we have where it says HTML1. Let's click on that. So this says for free consultation. Now you can change this to whatever you want. You could say, for example, to contact us now, for example. And then it would say call your number. But free consultation sounds good, so I'm going to leave for a free consultation and leave that there. So just make sure you click on publish if you did change it. So then we're going to want to click on the X, and we're going to want to go back to where it says edit with Elementor. Once we're back to editing with Elementor, you're not going to be able to see the header where it had that button and it had the call to action where it said for a free consultation. So now we're back to editing the web page. So you're going to see that everything on this web page is editable with a visual editor. That's what's so awesome about what we're doing. You can make this whole website customized for your business for free with a visual editor. How cool is that? So we can change this where it says 2 billion gross recoveries since 1982. We can completely change this. This is an icon list. So if we click on this, you can see there's an icon of a medal right here, and then there's some text to the right. So it's up to you what you want to put here. You could, for example, click where it says icon library and select a different icon. You can click on money, for example, and then click on insert. And then you could type, instead of 2 billion in gross recoveries, you could type the #1 lawyer in the Atlanta, Georgia area. This is just an example of what you could type. This is completely up to you. And you can see that that picture of money is right there. We can change the style. For example, we could change the color. So if we go to where it says style, you can click on icon, and under color you can change that to whatever you like. So I'm going to change the money to a green color. So I'm going to click on a dark green color for money. And that doesn't really make sense with the text though, the #1 lawyer in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm going to go back to where it says content, click where it says items, and then where it says icon, I'm going to want to pick a different icon from here. I'm just going to want to click on something like a phone. A phone makes sense. So the #1 lawyer in Atlanta, Georgia area, and you have a little icon of a phone right there. So you could actually make this a link too to actually call you. So again, you could type where it says link TEL : and then your phone number. So I'm just going to type in my fake phone number real fast. And then, that's pretty cool. So now if someone clicks this, it's going to open up the phone and dial that number. Next, we can edit where it says personal injury and accident lawyers in Nevada. This is, again, just a heading that we can change to whatever we want. So I'm going to change this to say real estate lawyer in Atlanta, GA for Georgia. I'm going to put best real estate lawyer in Atlanta, Georgia, because when someone does a search, very often they'll type the word best before what they're looking for. So for SEO purposes, this is our H1. So if you're not familiar, H1 is the most important heading tag on your website. It's the biggest one that people see right when they go to your website for the most part. It's usually right at the top of the page. And that's the most important for SEO purposes. So that's why something like best and then the type of lawyer you are, or again, if you do general practice, best lawyer in, and then your area is a really good heading to use here, but it's completely up to you. And then there's some text underneath here. This is some placeholder text. You could just put a little bit about your company, about, for example, why someone might want to hire you, or some of your biggest accomplishments, or anything that you can think of that you want to put in a little bit of text here, you can put. Well, I'm going to leave that right there. What I am going to change right here is this button that says Get Help Now. What I like is that it says Get Help Now. I don't mind that. So what I'm going to want to do is go to our contact page. So I'm going to want to go click right here, hit backspace where the hashtag is, and you're going to want to type /contact. And then you're going to want to click on Update. So now when someone clicks on that button, it's going to go to the contact page where someone can go and get your hours of operation, they can get your address, and they can get your phone number. So that's what is called, in web design terms, a hero section. And we just completed our hero section in very short order. Now we're going to scroll down and we're going to see that it's actually not much more difficult to edit the rest of the website. So here we have a simple text where it says over, and then it says 2 billion covered, hard fought, hard earned, and then some placeholder text. So this is completely up to you what you want to do here. Most likely you're not going to want to use the dollar amount. Most likely you're going to want to put something different about your company. I, for example, can't think of anything to put here. So I'm going to delete this section altogether. And that's my personal choice. But I'm going to show you what to do if you want to do it for yourself. Let's say that you like this text right here, but you don't need this text right here. What you can do is right click, go to delete. So now we just have the dollar amount and then where it says covered, hard fought, hard earned. So the dollar amount, you could change this to any heading that you want about your practice. You can put best lawyer for real estate. But that's what we already put. So we don't want to put that again. So you can put anything about your company. I really recommend pulling up a few websites of some of your competitors and really seeing what did they put on their websites and kind of getting some ideas. I, for example, don't want to use this section at all. I like the fact that it goes to the About Us section because I think that's really important to have on a home page. So I'm just going to delete this right now. I'm going to click right click, delete, click here, right click here, go to delete, right click here, go to delete. And now you see the only problem is we have this big gap between the top and where it says About Us. So what we're going to want to do to get rid of this gap right here is simply click this little icon right here. When you mouse over, it says Edit Container. Left click that and then go to the Advanced tab on the left hand side of the screen, and where it says padding, it's going to say top and then it's going to say 64. So we're going to want to get rid of this, so just backspace that out, and you can see that gets rid of that big gap that we had. So now we have our hero section followed by an About Us section, which has a picture and it has some text to the right. So I think this is actually a really good thing to have in a home page, so I'm going to leave this as it is. However, the text I'm going to change to say voted best real estate lawyer 2024. So now this text can have more information regarding this heading right here, as well as this paragraph underneath it. So one thing that you would have to change after you change out your text is this button here says read more. So this button means that there's more to this text right here, and since it's About Us, basically for read more, I would personally link it to the About page, because the about page on your website is going to have all kinds of information like this about your business. So what I would do is click right here where it says read more, and on the left hand side there's a spot that says link. You're going to want to select the text box and backspace that hashtag, and you're going to want to put a front slash and type the word about. After that, click on update, and now we just want to make sure that that is correct and that is actually the page for the about page. So to make sure that it is, we're going to open up a new tab and we're going to type in Astra templates, and this is for Google, so my Firefox automatically goes to Google. If yours doesn't, then you're going to want to go to google.com and type Astra templates, hit enter, and you're going to want to click this link that says 250 plus designer made website templates 2024. Click that link, and then we're going to want to type law, and then we're going to want to click on that website that we're working on and click where it says live preview, and then we're going to want to go to where it says about, and we're going to want to look at the address at the bottom left of your screen. And sure enough, the about page does just simply say /about. So that's exactly what we want to do with ours, and that is what we did, so we can feel confident that our about page is currently called about, because our website mirrors the demo website. We're just changing and customizing for your business. So one thing that you can do here is, this is a photograph of a lawyer. So what you can do is take a photograph of yourself, and what you want to do is make it a square image to match this amount of text. You could make it a more vertical image that is a little longer vertically instead of it being square. If you did that, just know that you would have to do something on the right hand side to accommodate that. I simply like keeping it a square. So what I'm going to do is go back to Pixabay, and I'm going to type in professional businessman, and I see that there's a nice picture right here that is more vertical, and I'm going to show you how to change a vertical image into a square. So what I'm going to do is download this image. I'm going to download the larger version of it. Click download, and then that image is downloaded, and I'm going to open a new tab. We're going to use a photo editor called Pixlr. It's Pixlr space the letter E, and hit enter. And we're going to want to click on this link below the top one that says Photo Editor Pixlr Free Advanced Photoshop and Image. Click that, and it takes us right to the editor. If it opens up a pop-up, simply click the X to get out of it. And we're going to want to click on Open Image. Then we're going to want to select the image that we want to modify. So I'm using an image from Pixabay, but you might be using an image that you simply took from your phone, or maybe you even hired a professional photographer. Once you have the image that you want to modify up on the screen, we simply want to make a square design. We simply want to select a square area and use that for our image. So I'm going to select this tool on the left that says Marquee Select, and then I'm going to want to select until the width and the height are the same number. So you can see the width is roughly, it looks like the image of this, the width of this image is 1280. But I selected a little bit to the left, so that's okay. So since the width is 1280, we want a height of 1280 as well. And the way that I found that this image has a width of 1280 is I'm going to unselect right now just so I can show you. So first you're going to want to determine the width of the image. And you can tell that by going to the upper right hand side and where it says W, That's the width of your image. So this says 1280. So now that we know we have a width of 1280 and we know that we want to make it a square, we simply have to select a width of 1280 as well as a height of 1280. So using this marquee select, we're going to select somewhere up here, and then we're going to select until we have a height of 1280. Now this is just my personal example. I'm sure that your image won't have a width of 1280. So just select the same amount so that it's a square. So I got 1281, so that's a little bit more than 1280. If you can get it to exactly 1280, that's good. If you can't, then that's just fine. I'm going to show you a trick that we can do. So I'm going to move this up a little bit because I think it's going to look better if we move this up. And then I'm going to click on image, and then I'm going to click on crop. So I think that looks pretty good, but I think it's too focused on the top of the image. So I'm going to do Control Z in Windows to undo, or Command Z in Mac to undo. And I'm going to redo this, and this time I'm going to select more of the lower part of the image. And I'm not getting exactly 1280, but that's just fine. We're going to get as close as we can. So I like this much better. So I'm going to go back to image, go to crop, and I think this looks quite good. So now you can see we have an image width of 1280 and an image height of 1282. Now what we could do is click on image, click on image size, uncheck aspect constraint, and then set the height to 1280, and then click on apply. And now we have an image that has the exact same width as it does height. So now all we have to do is click on File, Save. It's going to have some default options here that we're going to keep, and then we're going to want to click on Save. So you get 3 saves with Pixlr every day with the free plan. So if you need to use this editor more than 3 saves per day, then you would have to use a premium version. But for our purposes, we shouldn't have to do that. So now I'm going to click on the X. I'm going to go back to our website, and I'm going to change out this image for my own image that I just used. So now I'm going to click Upload Files, and I'm going to select the image that I just edited on Pixlr. And when it uploads, I'm going to want to change the title to be blank, and I'm going to want to type in again, best lawyer. If it's a certain type of law that you practice, you're going to want to be specific and put that in here. Otherwise, I'm just going to put best lawyer, and this time I'll modify it up a bit. I'll put best lawyer 2024, and then the area that you practice out of. So I'm going to put Atlanta, GA for Georgia. I'm going to select it. I'm going to right click, copy, or you can also do Command C if you're on Mac. And then you're going to want to go to Alt Text, right click, paste, or you can also do Command V if you're on Mac, or Control V if you're on Windows. And once we have that all typed out, we're going to want to click on Select. And now we can see that this image matches the text on the right hand side perfectly. We have a button that goes to the About page, and everything looks good here. So now I'm going to scroll down, and by the way, if you don't like this section at all, you can delete the whole thing by right clicking in the container and go to delete and get rid of the entire thing. That's completely up to you. And you can see that there's still a container here, so you're going to want to just do right click, delete, and there we go. Now we're back to why choose, and then we can change this text up to say whatever we want. The only issue is if you do decide to do this, you might say, hey, there's no gap in between our hero banner and our next section. So that's actually really easy to change. You're going to want to click right over here where it says edit container. You're going to want to go to advanced, and then where it says margin, you're going to want to unclick this button that says link values. And once you do that, where it says top, you're going to want to type something like 60, and that just puts a gap of 60 pixels between the banner and our next section of our page. So that's something that you could do. If you don't want an about section on your page, you don't even need to do it. If you don't have a photo you want to use, for example, or you just don't like that part of the page, you can simply get rid of it. And in a part of this tutorial, I'm going to show you all the different features that you can put on your home page and edit it so that you don't have to use just what's in the template, but you can actually do custom things as well. So I actually do like the About Us section, so for mine I'm going to use it. So I'm going to do Control Z to back up and go back to what I had. There we go. So on mine I'm back to where it says About Us, and I'm going to scroll down. Oh, I went too far. So one trick you can do is Control Y is redo. So if you Control Z too far, you just do Control Y or Command Y on Mac, and you'll go forward one step to get to the place that you want to be. So now I'm going to scroll down, and now we have a section here that says why choose and then the name of the business. So I'm going to change the name here where it says Mike and John. I'm going to name my fictional business Johnson and Harmon, and where it says personal injury accident lawyers, I'm going to change that. I'm just going to get rid of that altogether, and I'm going to put a question mark. And then we have 4 sections here that are nice little bullet points that a visitor could look at and in a nice compact way see why they would choose your company. So there's also icons here with little pictures, and I'm going to show you how to change that and show you how to change the text. So this is what's called an icon box in our visual editor. So an icon box is basically just an icon, a heading, and some text. So if you don't like the icons that are already here, you can simply go to the left hand side and go where it says icon library, and then you can pick an icon that you want. You could also click up top where it says filter by name, and you can type in whatever you like to search for an icon. For example, document. You could put nothing is coming up for me, so you could backspace that out and you could simply scroll and look if what you're typing isn't working. And if I scroll, I can see some things that are very similar to a document. You can see where it says file alt. That looks very similar to a document, so I can click on that and use that as an example. Click insert, and then I change my icon to a document. Now we have to change the heading and the text underneath. So the heading is right here on the left hand side where it says title. You can simply backspace that out, and then you can simply put one voted best lawyer 2024. Now this is what I already put, so this is just placeholder text, but I'm just giving you an example of something that you could put. And then underneath there's a description, and I could put more text right here to give more details. So I'm not going to show you how to change the rest of these because it's all the same. But you might ask, what if I have more than 4 reasons that I want people to know, or more than 4 bullet points? So what you can do is you can right click in this container, so you can see those lines, they're dashed lines, and you can right click anywhere in this container and then simply click on duplicate, and now we have 3 columns. And if we go underneath, we can do the same thing with this container. We can right click, click on duplicate, and again we have 3 columns. So now we have 6 reasons to choose, this fictional law firm. And you can simply change out the icon as we already went over. So that's one way that you can customize this. So now we can scroll down and you can see it says Mike and John personal injury lawyers recognized by, and then it has a list of fictitious companies. So this would be companies that you're associated with or that you work with. It's a pretty professional touch that a lot of businesses like to put on their website. So I think it looks pretty good, but you would have to have associations that you have already made in order to use this section. So if you don't have any associations, and this is a section you would want to delete, and you can do that by selecting this entire container and deleting it. And also first I'll show you how to delete it, and the way to do that is you can simply delete each one on its own by left clicking where it says edit container and then delete each one. But I think it's easier to right click anywhere blank on the page, go down to where it says navigator, click on navigator, and then you should see a bunch of containers on the right hand side. So we're going to want to click on these until we find something that we want. So this container is this entire container that has all of these items. So we don't want that. If we click on this, this container is this row. The next container is this subsection of that row, so that's not it. And if we go down, we're on down to the next row. So we're getting closer. So we just have to keep going down until we get to what we want. And here we go. This container right here has all of those images. So this is under the assumption that we have no associations. We don't want to use this section. So we could simply right click and go to delete, and that deletes the whole container. And then this heading, we can simply left click, then right click, go to delete, and then we don't have that section anymore on our page. But if we do want to use it, I'm just going to Control Z because I'm on Windows to back up. I went too far, so I'm going to do Control Y to go forward one step. So what we can do is we can change these logos out for actual logos of businesses that we work with. So I don't have any actual logos right now that I want to use, that I'm associated with, or that I could even think of for a demo site. But what I could show you is a quick example from Pixabay. We could type in the word logo, and we could simply find an image of something that's a logo that might make sense for our website. So this W, however, for WordPress, this looks a lot closer to an image that we might want to use. And since you're now familiar with the Pixlr editor, we're going to do that again. So I'm going to click on this photograph, and I'm going to want to go to download and pick the larger image. I'm going to download it, and I'm just going to show you what you can do really quickly. If you go to Pixlr and then open up an image that you want to edit, so let's say you have an association, but the image is not the same dimension. So what I mean by that is if we go back to our website, you can see that each image is a rectangle and they each have very specific dimensions. So we would want to have images of the same dimensions to put in for our website as well to make it look even. So what I'm going to do is go here and I'm going to make square images. So I'm going to just select the same width as height to make sure it's a square. So my width right now you can see is 991 and my height is 826, so I'm a little too wide. So I'm going to go down until I have the same width as I do height, or something close. So now I have 800 and 796, so that's really close. So I'm just going to select where I like it, and then once I have it where I like it, I'm just going to go to image and then go to crop. So I'm going to click on image and crop. So that would be my WordPress logo, technically association. I'm saying that I'm associated with WordPress. This is all just examples. And then I'm going to want to save the image, use the default settings, and click on save. You could also simply use the editor, you have a photo editor on your computer. Mac has its own photo editor as well as Windows, so you could also use that for something as simple as cropping an image. You don't have to use Pixlr, but since Pixlr you can use on both Mac and Windows, I figure I'd show you a really nice tool that I think is really similar to Photoshop, which is one of the most professional image editing tools there is, and it's free, so I thought I would show you that this option does exist. So now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go where it says choose image, and I'm going to choose that square image I just created by going to upload files, select file, and then I'm going to want to select that image I just made. And I'm going to want to delete where it says title and type something that describes the image. So I'm going to type WordPress association. WordPress isn't an association, but I'm saying I'm associated with WordPress, so that's kind of my logic behind what I'm typing. And then I'm going to want to copy this by doing Control C on Windows, Command C on Mac, or right click copy, and then go to Alt Text, and then right click paste, or Control V on Windows or Command V on Mac, and then click on select, and you can see there's our association image. And you can simply do that as many times as you want. Let's say that you only have 3 associations and you don't have 5. What you can do is simply see where it says container on the right hand side, and we have 5 containers. All we have to do is delete some of the containers. And by the way, if you ever have any problems with your website and you need someone to take a look at it, you can always email me at kijix84@gmail.com, and I'll put my email in the description of this video. But my email once again is kijix84@gmail.com, and all you have to do is send me an email with your WordPress credentials, with your login and password, and tell me what you're having a problem with and what you'd like to fix, and if I have the time, then I will certainly do my best to help you out. So now that we have this image here, you can see that it looks quite good, but we're saying, what if we have less than 5 associations? So you can see 5 containers on the right hand side here. All we have to do is delete some of these containers by right clicking, going to delete, and now you can see we have less associations here. So I'm going to delete one more container. I'm going to delete this container right here by right click, go to delete, and then now what we have is 3 images, and we do have one problem though, in that the images are not centered. So all we have to do to center the images is we have to select the overall container by going to the navigator and finding the container that is this overall section, and that's that container right here. So we left click on it, and then we go to the left hand side, and where it says justify content, we simply click center, and now we have all of our images in the center and everything looks much more organized. So that's that section. If we scroll down, it has an Our Areas of Practice section, and there's a button that says View All. So we want this button to go to the right spot, and right now with this template it's not going anywhere. So what we want to do is open up our tab that we had open before that has all of the different links, and it says Practice Areas up top here, and we can see that the link is practice-areas. So I'm looking at the bottom left of the screen. So it says practice-areas. So now we want to go back to our website, and we're going to click where it says link, backspace the hashtag, and put a front slash, and type the word practice-areas. And then we're going to want to click where it says update. So now we have, this is going to our areas of practice part of our website. Now what if you don't want this to go to your areas of practice part of your website? What if you want this to go to a completely different page. That's fine, and all you have to do where it says link is type in the page that you want it to go to. But right now we're going to use this template, and where it says our areas of practice, and this text you're going to want to change to something that makes sense. And then it says for this website it has car accidents, truck accidents, and personal injury. You're going to want to type in things that make sense for your business. You're going to want to left click the text you want to modify, and then go to the left hand side of the page, and it's going to show you where you can modify it. So where it says car accidents, I'm going to type real estate law. Then where it has the placeholder text, you can type whatever you want. And where it says learn more, this is a link, so we want this to go to our practice areas page. So we're going to want to backspace where it says link, where it has the hashtag, and we're going to want to put / practice hyphen or dash, they're the same thing, and then the word areas. And that'll take us to the practice areas section of our website. And we're going to want to do this for each section here. So for each learn more, we're going to want to backspace that out where it says link and put / practice dash areas. But on my website, I only want 4 areas of practice. I don't want 6. And you may want even less than that. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So you might even want, for example, just one big paragraph. If you focus on, for example, real estate law, you may just want one big paragraph that goes into what you do with real estate law and maybe some bullet points. And you can do that by clicking this icon right here, by dragging these simple elements onto your website, like this heading or this text editor, for example. But right now, where it's going to go with the template, and you're going to learn as you're going throughout this how to use Elementor, and you're going to really learn how to customize this website to make it how you want it. So right now, like I said, we have to change all these learn mores to go to the practice areas section of our website. But me personally, I don't want 6 different sections. I only want 4. So I'm going to go where it says personal injury. I'm going to left click where it says edit container, and then I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to go to delete, and that deletes that part of the container. And then where it says dog bites, I'm going to left click, and then I'm going to right click and go to delete. And then where it says dog bites, I'm going to want to left click where it says edit container, then right click and go to delete. And now we only have 4 sections, but you can see the problem is they're not evenly spaced. So I'm going to show you how to deal with that right now real quick. It's real easy. Simply left click where it says edit container, and then on the left hand side it says width, and you can see it's set to 33.3%. So that makes sense. It's only set to 1/3. So all we have to do is erase that out and type 50, and now we have that set to half of the page. And then all we have to do is do the same for this part right here. Left click where it says edit container, and where it says width, just get rid of the 33%, type 50 for half, and now we have a real nice evenly spaced section that has 2 items instead of 3. Now all we have to do is the same for the bottom 2 to set these to 50%, and we're going to do the same exact steps that we did. Left click, change the width to 50%, and there we go. Now one thing that you might notice that's a little strange is where it says personal injury, it looks like it's pushed over a little bit more. So that's a little odd, right? So we want to figure out why that's happening. So one thing that we can determine is if we left click where it says edit container and then click on advanced, we can see that there's 64 pixels of padding to the left hand side, and all that means is spacing. So that means it's taking 64 pixels and it's spacing out this area right here. So we don't want that to happen. So we want it to look more like this down here. So let's left click on this container and then go to advanced and see what's here. So we can see this container has 32 pixels on the right hand side and 32 pixels on the left hand side of padding. So I think that looks much better. So what I'm going to do is go to our container right here and set it to 32 for the left and 32 for the right. And now everything looks lined up. So this is just examples of what you could do if you wanted 4 areas of practice, for example, as opposed to 6. If we scroll down, we have kind of a testimonial, and it looks like a video, but it's not an actual video. So if you have an actual testimonial, I can show you what to do here. All you have to do is change out this element right here, and it says Lisa's story, and then it has some text that you can change, and then it says view all testimonials. And if we go up to our demo site that we have open from before, you could see that there is no actual page for testimonials. What you could do is have all your testimonials on your about page if you wanted to. And I'm going to go back to our website now, and you could link to all your testimonials, for example, on your about page. But I don't want to make that a page on my personal website, so I'm just going to want to delete this button by right clicking the button and clicking delete. So now we don't have any button here any longer, so there is no button that has to go to a testimonial page. However, I just thought of a really good idea. Wouldn't it be nice to have the button go to a contact form instead? So once someone looks at the testimonial, they think, wouldn't it make sense for the button to go to a contact page? So we can do that as well. So I'm going to do Control Z on Windows to undo, or Command Z on Mac. And I'm going to click on that button. And then I'm going to go where it says link, and I'm going to want to backspace that out and type /contact. And where it says text, where it says view all testimonials, I'm going to change that to contact us. So now it's going to change it to our contact page on our website if someone clicks on this button. So now all we have to do is change out this image and this little play button here for an actual video. Now all we have to do is simply right click anywhere in this image and click on delete, and then we go to the left hand side where it says elements, and then you can see there's a button that says video. So we click on this and we drag it, and we want to drag it until you see that little pink vertical bar right here. Drag it, drop it, and then you see there's a video, and there's a placeholder video. And all you have to do is change out the link right here to the link to your YouTube video of the actual testimonial. And then you have your testimonial to the left hand side with the little image and the text, and then you have the video to the right if someone wants to learn more and actually watch the testimonial. And I think this is actually a really good feature to have on a homepage. So if you have a video testimonial, then this is a really good thing to do. If you don't have a video testimonial, what you could do is exchange this for an image. So for example, I'll just delete this video right here by going to our navigator, and where it says video, I'm going to right click, click on delete, and then where it says image, I'm going to left click that and then drag that in here and make sure it's in the right spot by waiting until we have that pink vertical bar. So now we have an image on the right hand side, and we can simply click right here where it says choose image, and we can find an image that we want to use. So I'm going to try this image right here. This image of course isn't relevant to this testimonial, but this is just to show you how to select an image and use it. So here we go, we have our image right next to our testimonial, and we have our testimonial going to our contact page. And now if we scroll down here, we have 3 more testimonials. So most likely you do have testimonials from clients, but what you probably don't have, which is a little more uncommon, is to have pictures of all the people that you have testimonials from. So assuming that you don't have pictures for your testimonials, all you have to do is click on the testimonial, and then where it says choose image, there's a little picture of a trash can. So all we have to do is click on remove, and that gets rid of our image for each testimonial. So I'm just going to do that for all 3. And now we have our testimonials just without images. So now I've shown you how to edit this testimonial section. I've shown you how to use a placeholder. I've shown you how to put your own testimonial video that you host on YouTube. I've also shown you, if you don't have a testimonial video, how to put an image on the right hand instead. Now I'm going to show you how to simply put an extra testimonial, for example. So maybe you have another testimonial of someone that you want to put, and all you have to do is right click anywhere in this container and click duplicate, and now we've duplicated what we have, and now we have another testimonial. You might say, hey, this is not aligned, this is not taking up the whole width of the page, it doesn't look good. So all we have to do is do the same thing we did before, is left click where it says edit container, where it says width, you can see it says 36.7. All we have to do is change that to 50 for each container, and you can see right here our container button is right here. So we left click on edit container, and where it says width, change it to 50. And now we have 2 testimonials side by side. So now I've shown you 3 different things you can do. You can add another testimonial, you can add an image, or you can add an actual video testimonial of someone that you've interviewed in the past for your business. Now we can change out the text where it says ready to get answers from a qualified injury lawyer. So simply click on that section, and then you can put, are you ready to see what we can do for you? Question mark. So that's just something that came to mind. You can put whatever you want for your business, and then the placeholder text underneath it, you can simply put whatever you want. And then it says free consultation, you can leave that or change it. And then below that it says call, then it has a phone number. So I'm going to change this number to our placeholder number, but you should of course put the number to your business so that it actually connects people. And then where it says link, we're going to type TEL colon the country code. So I'm going to do 1 because I'm in the United States. And I'm going to want to type in the phone number with no hyphens, so 860, just like that. And then you're going to want to click on update. So now we changed the text next to our form, but the form, you can see, has some fields here like name, email address, phone number, and describe your case. And then it says get help now. So we can modify this form to be more custom to your business, and we can do that right now. So next we're going to want to click on the left arrow button on the top of the page after we hit update. Then we're going to want to go where it says WP Forms, Contact Form, Edit Form. And you can see this is the exact form that we had at the bottom of the page. It says name, your name, email address, phone, and then comment or message, and then it says describe your case. So you might not want it to say describe your case, for example. You might just want it to say your message, just as an example. So I did that by clicking advanced on the left hand side, and then where it says placeholder text, I changed it to your message. So I think having name, email address, and phone number are very common things to put in a contact form, and I think that's information that you're going to want to get from anyone. But one thing that I wonder is this phone number required? And you can tell that it's not required because it doesn't have this little red asterisk next to the phone. So I think that's great. So for whatever reason the visitor doesn't want to give their phone number, they are able to do that with this contact form. So I think this is actually a great contact form. I think it has all the necessities that you would want. And then it has the comment or message that they can reach out to you. Well, I just want you to know that if there's something that you want to add to this form, you can do so. For example, if you want to make a really custom form and you want people to be able to reach out to you and you want to have, for example, checkboxes, you can do that. So I can drop checkboxes right here and you can have a section where it says pick out of the three choices here what you're concerned about, and then they can select their concerns. So this is checkboxes, so this is actually something where someone can pick multiple items, so that's not really what we would want for that. So I'm going to go to this trash can, delete that, and then click OK. So I'm going to go where it says multiple choice. I'm going to drag this in. So now we have a multiple choice section where we can totally customize it, and we can say what is the concern you are writing in regarding question mark. And now we can change our options here where it says first choice. We can say I have a question about selling my house, because this is a fictitious real estate lawyer's website. And that's just an example. And you can do something like that. But I'm going to left click the delete field button because I'm not actually going to do that here. I just wanted you to know that if you want to customize your form, you can do so. And again, if you have any problems with any of these things that we're going over, you can simply reach out to me via email, and if I can help you, I certainly will. And of course it depends on my time and my availability, so just keep that in mind. But I just want you to know that it's actually quite simple to change your form to be quite custom for your business. So I actually like everything that's here. Only thing that I didn't like was where it said describe your case. I just wanted to say your message on mine. So I changed that out. So I'm just going to want to click on save. And now that's saved. So now I'm going to want to click on this X button right here. And now we're back to the WordPress dashboard. So we're going to want to go back to our website by going to My WordPress and click Visit Site. And now we're back to our website. And now what we have to do is simply edit out our different pages. And we're going to go through these sections relatively quickly, but I am going to show you a little bit more about the visual editor now in these next sections so that you can really customize your website exactly how you want to and not just be conformed to the templated layout system of this theme. Now that we've finished our home page, all we have to do is make sure that everything looks good in tablet view and in phone view. So all we have to do is mouse over here where it says responsive mode, left click that button, and then all we have to do is click up here where it says tablet, and then all we have to do now is scroll through the whole page. So for example, the top of the page here, this is our hero section, this is our heading, this is the #1 lawyer in the Atlanta, Georgia area. That's just my text. Again, customize it for your own business. Okay, so now we're at the top of the page. This is our hero section. To me, everything looks good. Scroll down. This is our About Us section. It has the image followed by the text. Everything looks good. This button that says read more. This is our About. Now we go down to our About section. Everything looks good. It has our image followed by the text. Keep on scrolling. our why choose this company section looks good to me, followed by our associations logos, all looks fine. If we keep going down, it says our areas of practice, and this has our section where there were multiple areas of practice. Now I personally made it so that there were only 4 areas of practice. Now I'm going to show you what to do if you end up with a problem like me, where you see that there's too much spacing right here as opposed to this row. So if we want to make these look the same, all we have to do is adjust the padding, which is most likely the problem here. So if we left click on this part that says edit container and go to the advanced tab, we can see our padding is 16 pixels right, 16 pixels left, and you can see that that's what gives it this look. Now if we left click on where it says edit container here and go to advanced, you can see that there's 32 pixels of padding to the left and no padding to the right. So since we want it to look identical, we're going to want to change this value to 16 and change it where it says right to 16. Now if we click off, we can see that everything looks aligned and symmetrical. So if we keep scrolling down, we have our testimonials section, followed by our contact buttons. Next we have our testimonials that we got rid of the images for, and if we keep going, we have our contact form. So right now, to me, everything looks pretty good in tablet view. So the last thing we have to check is our phone view. So all we have to do is click where it says mobile portrait, and now we're going to go to the top of the page, make sure everything looks good. This looks good to me. And now there's no image in the background for whatever reason when we're looking on this view, but I believe that most likely there is a background in the mobile view, but for whatever reason it's just not showing up. So what we can do is simply open up a new tab if you're having this issue. If you're not having this issue, then you don't have to do this. But if you're having this issue where you see no background, all you have to do is open up a new page and then simply type in the name of your website .com, and it's going to go to your website, and then all you have to do is minimize your website, and then all you have to do is drag it to be a bigger portion of your screen, and then go to a small section of your screen like this. You can see this is what it would look like in phone view, and you can see we do have a problem. The problem is that it's going back to the default image in phone view. It's not using the image that we had selected for our other views. So we can see we do have a problem here. In mobile view, it's not selecting the right image. So what we're going to do is change that out, and we're going to fix that right now. We're going to go back here. We're going to right click anywhere in this open space, and we're going to want to go to edit container, and where it says image, we're going to want to click on choose image. Once we're here, we're going to want to click on the image that we used for our hero section. Now for me, that was this image of a gavel. So I'm going to click on that image, click on select, and then it should pick the image of the gavel. Now there are other elements here, and it looks like it just took a second to load. So this section should be fixed. You just want to give it a second to load up. So everything's loaded and everything looks good. Now we're going to want to click on the update button, and we can see that everything looks good now. So that little bug was adjusted. So now let's keep on going down the page and make sure that nothing else looks out of place. This our about section looks really good. Our why choose our company section. Everything looks really great for phone view. We keep going down, then we have our areas of practice. Everything looks really great. Now we have our testimonial section. Again, everything looks really great to me. Followed by our testimonial text. Followed by our form with our phone number. And all the way at the bottom, that's our footer, which we're going to adjust at the end of the tutorial. So everything looks good in phone view now. Now we just want to make sure that that's really the case. So all we have to do is go back to that other tab we had open that has our website in it. And we're going to want to click on refresh. And we're going to want to shrink the page once again. So I'm going to shrink the page until I see it in mobile view. And mobile view is essentially just a really small screen. So I'm just going to shrink the page until we're at a really small screen size. And already I can see that things are fixed. You can see that our image is now set to the correct image for mobile view. And that looks really great to me. So we fixed everything. So now the entire home page looks really great in all three views. And all we have to do is go and change our about page now. So we can exit out of responsive view by going to where it says responsive mode and clicking it. And now all we have to do is click on the back arrow. And now all we have to do is click where it says about and click on edit with Elementor. So now we're going to pick up the pace a little bit because you know pretty much the basics of how to use Elementor and how to change out these sections. What you do know how to do right now is how to change the preset templated sections. What I'm going to show you how to do now is how to create your own sections on your website to make it really custom to you. So we're going to do this now on our about page so that you can make these changes to all of the rest of the pages on your site, including your home page. So let's start out by adding a new row. Simply click on this plus icon right here. Now we're going to click on this little picture of a rectangle with a down arrow in the middle. So all we did now is we just added a container. So with a container you can put things inside of it. So if you go to the left hand side of the page and click on this button at the top right side that looks like a Rubik's Cube, you can see that there's different sections under basic, and if we scroll all the way down past the paid section, there's a section called general, which has even more different items we can put on our page. So let's say we wanted to add a simple heading. All we have to do is click on heading and drag it into our container. See, it says add your text here. Now you don't actually click and edit the text here on the page, you actually edit it to the left hand side where it says over here where it says title. So you can put about our company. Now if we go back to this little Rubik's Cube, now we can add text editor. So simply select, drag it underneath where it says about our company or whatever heading you put, and you can tell by that horizontal pink line. And now it has placeholder text in the middle. And now let's say I just copy and paste a bunch of text here, and this could be all text that you want to put about your company, and you see how easy that was to do. Let's say we want to add some spacing between our elements. Let's say that this about us heading section right here is a little too close to our new row and container that has our heading and our text. All we have to do is add a bit of padding or some margin. So I'm going to add margin personally by clicking where it says edit container, and then I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to uncheck this value that says link values together, and for margin for top I'm going to type 60. So I just added 60 pixels of margin from the top of our container. So now you know how to add spacing and how to add elements. If we go back to our Rubik's Cube, you can see all different types of other things you can add. For example, image. I just dragged an image here, so now I can select any image from my list here, and we can add any image to our page. And you can see it was very simple, and this actually looks quite professional, and yet everything was done with a very intuitive visual editor called Elementor. So this all looks good, but let's say we want to add some other things. You can add dividers. So we can left click where it says divider, drag it underneath this image, and we have a little divider. So now we have a horizontal line that we can use to separate sections of our page. Let's say we want to add another heading. We go back to our Rubik's Cube, click where it says heading, and drag it underneath our divider. Now all we have to do is type in different text here. For example, this is our about page. This is the second section, period. And now we can add something after this by clicking the Rubik's Cube again. And now we can add, for example, a button. So I'm going to drag a button underneath. And this button can go to our contact page, for example, by changing where it says link to /contact. You could go back to our Rubik's Cube and we could add things like videos. We could add icons. So we can drag an icon underneath our button, and icons are just exactly what the name implies. They're icons. So we can click icon library and select an icon that we like here. Let's say we like the image of, I'm trying to find something that looks kind of relevant to what we're doing right now. Say that we don't like the color, we can click on style, and where it says primary color, we can click where it says default, and we can pick one of our theme colors, and then we can change it to our theme color. Or for example, we can click to the right and we can use our color picker and simply select a color that way. So no matter how you want to do it, you can pick a color either way. Now there's much more we can do. If you want to buy Elementor, you can get some more custom options for your website. Right now we're using the free version, so we're just going to keep on scrolling down. And now we have something called an image box. So we're going to add an image box to our page by dragging it below this gavel. So an image box is just an image followed by a heading followed by some text. So we can select an image here by going and clicking where it says choose image, and we can pick this image right here, and we can see now that we have an image followed by a heading followed by some text. Now what if you wanted to do something, for example, where things are spread out like right here where we have two columns? I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So all we have to do is click where it says, I would go up here instead of using the plus icon down there. So I would scroll up here, click this plus icon, and where it says these four icons, you're going to click where it says add new container, and this time we're going to want to pick one of these elements that has multiple columns. So for example, if we want two columns, we simply click on this right here, and now we have two even columns that we can put things in. So for example, we could take our image box and we can drag it up the page and we could put it in this column right here. So now we have an image box in this container. We can right click, duplicate, and then drag this other image box that we just duplicated into the container to the right. And now we have two image boxes in both containers. And now we have two columns with two image boxes. Let's say that we want a third image box, but we say, oh no, we only created two. If we right click, right here where it says edit container, now we can right click after we already, so first all we have to do is left click where it says edit container, then right click, and then do duplicate. And now it's going to duplicate the whole container, and now we have three containers next to each other, and now we have a row with three columns. So you can see that with the visual editor, really almost anything is possible, and it's really quite easy to learn once you get the hang of it. So right now I'm going to just delete this entire row by going to the navigator, and now I have to find this container in the navigator. So you can see that when we select the container, it will highlight it, so that makes it easy for us to find. So I'm going to scroll to the top, and you can see that right here seems to be our container. So I'm going to delete this whole thing by right clicking and going to delete. And now we have our about our company section. with our image, with our gavel, for example. Why don't I show you a couple of other things you can do? For example, there's an icon box. Before we do the icon box, let's get rid of this gavel. So I'm going to left click, right click, delete, go back to our Rubik's Cube, scroll down to where it says General, and then show you the icon box. So now we have our icon box. Now let's say that we want our text next to the image of the icon instead of underneath. We could do that too. All you have to do is click on the Style tab, which is where you're going to find pretty much any edits to the style of your element. And then you're going to want to click where it says Icon Position. You can click on Left, and that puts the icon to the left. You can click on Right, and that puts the icon to the right. You can click on Top, and that puts the icon to the top, which is its default position. So you can see there's a lot of different customizations you can do. Let's say we want to add an image gallery. We could add a basic image gallery by dragging this where it says Basic Gallery and dragging it onto our page, clicking where it says Add Images, and then selecting the images that we want to add. So I'm going to select 5 images and click on Create New Gallery and then Insert Gallery, and now I have an image gallery of 5 images. So now let's say that we want to change some of the alignment. If we click on Advanced, we can click where it says Align Self, and we can click Center, for example, and then everything gets centered. We could also click Start, where everything will be moved to the start, or End, where everything will be moved to the end. I like Center, so I'm going to click where it says Center. You can also uncheck that, and then it's more spread out like that, but I like it centered, so I'm going to click on Centered. Now let's say we want to add a tab feature. We can left click where it says Tab, and we're going to drag it right here underneath this button that says Click Here. Now we have a tab section where we can change the tabs. Now we can backspace out where it says tab number 1 and put topic number 1, for example. And then the text, you can put whatever you want. Now let's say I just want more text, so I'm just going to copy and paste that just so that we have more text, and we can add a paragraph that looks just like that. Then we could select our tab 2 by left clicking tab 2 and put, for example, topic number 2, and we could change the text here too. So now a reader could click on where it says topic 1 or topic 2, and there's a nice little tab section. There's another very useful thing that you can put, which is kind of like a frequently asked questions section, but it's called an accordion. So if we scroll down by going again, I did that real quick, I'll show you once a little more slowly, by clicking the Rubik's Cube and scrolling down on the page to where it says General, and then all we have to do is go to where it says Accordion, and we're going to drag that underneath our tab section. So our accordion, you can change where it says accordion number 1. You simply click, and then you can change this to say frequently asked question number 1. And then you can put where the text is, this is the answer to frequently asked question number 1. And then someone could click on where it says accordion number 2. They can get their answer to the second question. So where he says accordion number 2, we can backspace that out and type frequently asked question number 2, and then we can type out an answer. This is the answer to FAQ number 2. So now there's 2 frequently asked questions under an accordion. Now, so that's a really nice feature, and that we can add along with everything else that I've shown you. So now you see how to use Elementor and add all these different features to your website, and you can do this all on your own without any help from a web designer or a web developer, but you could end up paying upwards of $150 per hour. Luckily, with Elementor and WordPress and free themes, I just showed you how you can do this on your own without having to pay someone else every time you want to make a simple change or even make a more substantial change to your website. So now that we're done with all of this, what we're going to do is delete all of this. So we put all of these different things in one container So that makes it really easy to delete. So we're going to scroll to the top, and where there's this X, we're going to want to click on it where it says delete container. And now we're back to where we started. So now you're much more familiar with Elementor, and now you could probably finish editing this whole page on your own if you wanted to without even looking at the tutorial. But we're going to go through it anyway. So right now it says undefeated personal injury and accident lawyers in Nevada. Of course we want to change that out to put something about our company. So this is an about section, so you're going to want to look at other websites in your area to get some inspiration. So I'm going to put, this is the heading to our About Us page, and this is why you should choose our company. And then I'm going to simply go to the right hand side, and then we can left click and adjust all of these paragraphs right here. So now I'm going to scroll down, and where there's this image of this man, we're going to change that out. So I'm going to click on choose image, and I'm going to go to the image we already uploaded, and I'm going to click on select. So now we have the same image as we do on our home page, and it has some text to the right which we can change, and it has some text below it. I'm going to go through this really quickly because I think you're starting to get the hang of what we're doing here, and I think you're starting to get the hang of the visual editor Elementor. So continuing on here to the right, you can see there's a signature followed by the name Mike Harris. So we can change the text above this. We can change the fact that it says Mike Harris, which of course we want to do. So I'm just going to put a fake name here called Donald Harmon. And now for the signature, if you want to make a signature, this is actually an image. So what you would have to do is do this digitally and then have a transparent background. But what we're going to do is just delete this. So I'm going to right click here and delete. So we're going to go through this quickly like I said. So I changed the name to Donald Harmon. And what you could do is, I'm just going to put a hyphen at the beginning. And that is kind of similar to a signature in that it kind of shows that this was spoken by Donald Harmon, which is of course a fictional person. If we keep scrolling down, we have again Mike and John, personal injury lawyers. Again, we want to completely change this to your business. So I'm not going to put anything here because we're just going through this really quickly. I'll just put Donald Harmon is associated with colon. Actually, I won't put the colon. I'm just going to put associated with, and then underneath here, this is where we can upload our images of associations we have. Earlier, we made a fake association with this WordPress icon here that we made with the Pixlr photo editor, and if we wanted to, we could do the same thing for all of these other images. We could also simply delete this section altogether. If we scroll down, there's an our history section. Of course, this doesn't have to say our history, this can say whatever we want. So I'm just going to leave this as is. I'm going to leave the text. What I don't like are these years here with the text underneath it. This is something that I would not personally do. So I am, for the purposes of this demo website that I'm creating, I'm going to delete this section. So I'm just going to find the container. So you go to your navigator to the right, and you want to go and select until you see the container that is this entire row. So once you see that entire row highlighted, you know you've got the right container. Right click and then simply go to delete, and I'm just going to do this 2 more times for the other containers here. So here's one and here's one. So I'm going to delete both of these. And there we go. And that section is gone. Now we have the why choose your company section again. And I think this is a good section to have for pretty much any website. So I would recommend leaving this in, but it is completely up to you. And then on the right we have our icon boxes, which we've already gone over. So again, this I'm just going to change to why choose Johnson and Harmon, question mark, and then there's some text underneath it. So all of this would have to be changed. For the testimonials, all I'm going to do is take where it says the name, and I'm going to remove the image because I think it's going to be difficult to get an image of each testimonial that you put on here. And by the way, while we're going through this website here, I just want to let you know, if you're not already on Google My Business, you definitely want to be. So that's something where the Google verifies your business, and then you get listed in a box on Google when people search for example, lawyers in your area. And you're going to want to make sure for sure that you are on Google Business or My Business. If you are on Google My Business, you're going to want to get so many reviews. You want so many 5-star reviews on your Google My Business because that is going to help you rank so incredibly well. It's amazing just how important having some 5-star reviews is on your Google My Business. If you really want to get more clients, you really want to make the phone ring, in addition to just making this website, make sure you have your happy clients leave 5-star reviews on your Google My Business listing. So if we scroll down here, we're back to our form, and this is something that's going to be on every page, so we don't have to adjust any of this. I already went over how to do that. And so now there is only one thing we have to do, and this step we have to do for every page that we edit, and that's our responsive view. So all you have to do is click over down here where it says responsive mode, and then it's going to bring up these icons up here. So we've already done desktop, so now we want to do tablet mode, so we click on the tablet, and it's going to show us what our website looks like in tablet mode. And when we scroll, we can see that our tablet mode is not looking very good. There's a problem here. So I do want to show you something interesting. When we drag this container's width to be smaller, like 30%, you can see that everything looks as we would expect it to look. But when we let go of the mouse, it doesn't take. So I think what we're seeing could be a visual bug. So we're going to click on update, and we're going to see what our website actually looks like. So we're going to go to a new tab. So I have a new tab here. I'm going to click on the about page. If you're not here with me at the same web page, what you're going to do is type in the name of the website that you're working on. Mine is bizwebsitetutorial.com, and hit enter, and then click on the about page. So I'm going to click on about, and what I'm going to do is simply resize my browser at this R history section and see if things really break as it was shown in the visual editor. So when I size in the browser, you can see that there's actually no problem. So what we were looking at was simply a visual bug with the editor called Elementor. So that's actually really good news. What you want to do when you're going through your responsive mode is, if you have any strange issues like this, simply open a new tab, go to your page, refresh the page like this, and then simply resize your browser window and go to about the size where a tablet would be, which is like right here. You can see how it changes. It's right here, it looks like this, and then all of a sudden if we go like this, all of a sudden things change. That's how you know you've hit the tablet view. And if things look normal, then what you're looking at is just a visual bug with your editor, and it's nothing to be alarmed about. So now let's check our mobile view, and let's see if everything looks good there. So everything looks good so far. The spacing looks good. I'm going to move this navigator. I'm going to make my browser a little bit bigger. So we keep scrolling down. We have our history section, and it looks great. Why choose your company section? Everything looks great. The icons look great. And then the testimonial section, followed by the contact form. So everything looks great in all three of our views. The tablet view, there's a little bit of a bug there, but I showed you what to do in case you do run into any issues like that. So now everything looks good. So we're going to go back to our desktop view. I'm going to click where it says responsive mode to get rid of that toolbar at the top. And if there were any changes to make, I would click on update, but there are none. So we're good to go. So now you are very familiar with Elementor. You know what to do. You know the steps to take. You know how to use the little Rubik's Cube and add and remove elements from your page. You know how to add multi-column rows. You know how to do a lot of things. So now all we really have to do is adjust the rest of the pages, which I'm going to leave to you. However, there are some things I do want to show you, and that's the fact that the pages can be named things you may not want them to be named. So this is what I'm going to show you right now. So if we go to our other tab that has our About page open, now I want to teach you about pages and page names, etc. So now that you know how to use Elementor and how to make edits, what we want to do is make sure that the page names are what we actually want for our website. So pretty much every website has a home page and an about page, but not every website is going to have an attorney's page or a practice areas page or a results page. So you can go into one of these pages, for example, attorneys, and you can make all the edits that you want with Elementor and make this look exactly how you want it to look. But you might not want it to be called our attorneys. You might want it to be called our employees, or you might want it to be called something completely unrelated to anything like that. You might want a completely separate page on your website, and you might want to know, how do I go about that? So now I want to go into exactly what to do. So what you're going to want to do is go to where it says My WordPress and then click on Dashboard. Then you're going to want to go to Pages and click where it says All Pages. Now you can see the list of all of our pages. So now we can see that our attorneys page is right here, but maybe we don't want it to be called attorneys, so we simply click on edit, and then where it says attorneys, we could change it to something completely different. For example, employees. And then once you've changed it to what you want your page name to be, simply click on update. Now what we can do is go back to our website and see if things were changed. So you want to make sure that when you change the name of your page, you really want to make sure that things are correct. So for example, it says right here, URL, Biz Website Tutorial, which is my website, /attorneys. But we just renamed our page to employees. So we want to make sure that that actually changes. So what we're going to want to do is go back to our website. So I'm going to open a new tab. This is my Pixabay tab. I'm going to leave this open. I'm going to go to our Fiverr tab, and I'm going to simply use this tab to open up my website again. And you can see that sure enough, in our menu bar, instead of saying attorneys, it now says employees, which is great. However, when we mouse over it, it says attorneys at the bottom left. So that has not changed. So we really don't want it to say that. So we really want to go back and change that so that that says employees. So what we want to do is go back to our page where it says employees, and where it says URL, it says permalink, and this is where you're going to want to type in your permalink. So I'm going to type in employees. Then you're going to want to click on update. Now that's updated. So now if we go back to our web page and click on refresh, let's see what happens when we mouse over employees. Sure enough, at the bottom left you can see that it does say /employees. So that's great. So we renamed one of our pages to something else. And now if we went into this page, we could simply click edit with Elementor and make all kinds of adjustments to make our website custom. However, you might want to say, what if I want to add a new page? And you can do that too. Simply go back to where we just were, hit the back arrow, and all you have to do to make a new page is go to the left and click on where it says add new page. Here you could type in whatever you want your page name to be. For example, our accomplishments, and then click where it says URL, and then up for permalink you can see it change it to r-accomplishments. Now that's fine, but I personally would want to just say accomplishments. So I'm going to backspace where it says R, and I'm going to click on publish. And now I just published a page called Our Accomplishments. Now I don't really want this page, so I'm going to back up and I'm going to delete that page. So where it says Our Accomplishments, I'm just going to click where it says Trash, and that's going to put that page in the trash, and now I don't have to worry about that page. And I could also go to the trash and get rid of it permanently, which I will do because I have no use of it. So I'm going to click on Delete Permanently, and then I'm going to click where it says All. And now we see all of our pages. So that's how you make changes to the pages. So now you might be wondering, what about our contact page? And that's what we're going to do right now. So if we click on our contact page, there are things that we need to change here. You know how to use Elementor, so you know how to change all this, but there are things that maybe you're not sure about. For example, this map. So let's go into this and we'll just make some quick edits. So I'll click on Edit with Elementor. Where it has this email address, for example, there is no link, so that's one thing that we can change. For example, where it says phone number, there is no link, so that's another thing we can change. So those are two edits that you may not have thought of, so it's a good thing that we're going over this so that we can really solidify our knowledge of Elementor and making websites in WordPress. So for example, this phone number we want to change to our phone number, so I'm going to change it to 860. And for link, I'm going to type TEL:1 for the country code for the USA, and then 86091. Now if anyone clicks on this and they're on a mobile device, it's going to open up their phone and dial your number. For another problem, we have where it says mail@example.com. This is definitely not our mail address. So we want to backspace that out, and you're going to want to type in something here for your email address. Now, if you're just making your website, you may already have an email address or you may not. What I'm going to show you at this point is how to make a mailing address. So right now, I want you to think about the mailing address that you want to create, and that's the one that we're going to create. So for example, my domain is bizwebsitetutorial.com. So for my email, I'm just going to want, for me, my first name, which is James, at bizwebsitetutorial.com. And for the link, you're going to want to type mail to : and then the email address that you just came up with. So James at bizwebsitetutorial.com. So now what we have to do after we're finished with this page is we actually have to create the email. Once we create the email, then we have to make our contact forms work so that all of the contact forms really go to our email address. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So if we scroll down here to the bottom, you can see this map, and this is our Google map of our location. We really want this to be accurate, so we're going to want to click on this and make some changes. And when we click on it, unfortunately nothing's coming up. So we're going to want to try right-clicking somewhere and anywhere on the page, and then click on Navigator. And then we're going to want to go down to the bottommost container, and then open it up to where it says Google Maps, and select it. And now, sure enough, we can see our Google Maps adjustments to the left-hand side of the page. So where it says location, this is where you're going to want to type in your exact address, and then tab off. And once you put your exact address, it'll show the map at the bottom. So for example, I'm going to put CT 0610 or 06107 maybe? Oh look, it pulled it up. It is 06107. And sure enough, it brings up. You could also change the zoom. If you want it to be more zoomed into your location or less zoomed in, you can change that here. So now we have our map set, we have our email address changed, and we have our phone number changed. The last things that we have to change is this placeholder text right here to be something meaningful. and then we need to change our working hours, and we need to change our address right here. So this, you can simply change the title right here, 135. And then for our business hours, it says 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. You're simply going to want to put your real business hours, and I would also put the days of the week. So I'm just going to put M through F for Monday through Friday, comma, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. I can just leave it like that, or even better, I can simply type Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or instead of the hyphen, I can put the word to, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or I could also space it out and put dots after p.m. and dots after a.m. And I think when I put it that way, it looks much better. So this is the way that I'm going to go with. So now all we left to do with our website is change our footer at the bottom and make our email address. So let's make our email address, and then we're going to change the footer of our website. And then we're done. And then all you have to do is use Elementor and go into each page and make the changes that you want to make to the rest of the website. So now that we've made all of these changes, all we have to do is click on the update button at the bottom left. Now that all those changes are made, we have to actually create the email. For example, james@bizwebsitetutorial.com. So what we're going to want to do is go back to SiteGround. So that's what we're going to do. Simply go to siteground.com and simply log in. And where it says hosting, you're going to want to click on manage. And then where it says hosting plan, you're going to want to click on settings. And then where you see your website at the bottom, mine says Biz Website Tutorial, for example, you're going to want to click on settings. Then you're going to see your website at the top. You're going to want to click on Site Tools. Now all we have to do is go to the left-hand side and click on Email, and then click on Accounts. So here we have to put in an email address that matches what we have on our website here. So I need to create james@bizwebsitetutorial.com, but I've already created this. So I'm going to create a new email. I'm just going to call it james1@bizwebsitetutorial.com, and I'm going to create a password. And then simply click on create. You can see that that's all you had to do to create your email address. So now we have an email address that matches our website. Now all we have to do is set up our contact form on our website to use our new email address, so that emails that come through this form actually go to our email address. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Simply click on the back arrow, go to My WordPress and click on Dashboard. Mouse over WP Forms and then go to SMTP, and make sure that you still have your SiteGround tab open so that we can reference it. Where it says Install and Activate WP Mail SMTP, we want to click that button. Where it says Set up WP Mail SMTP, we want to click on Open Setup Wizard. Click on Let's Get Started. And where it says Choose Your SMTP Mailers, we're going to want to click on Other SMTP and click on Save and Continue. For SMTP hosts, we're going to want to click on our SiteGround tab and simply go to where it says Outgoing Server and copy that by doing right-click Copy, or Command-C on Mac, or Control-C on Windows. Go back to our other tab, right-click, paste, and for encryption we're going to want to click on SSL, For SMTP port, we're going to want to keep it at 465. And for authentication, we want to use the exact authentication that we use to create our email. And for example, the username, just so you know, is not just the James part, it's the entire email address. So I'm going to use, for example, this entire email address, and I'm going to paste it in here for username. I'm going to backspace out. You see there's that little space at the end? That can't be there. So I'm going to backspace that out. I'm going to put my password. And for the from name, I'm going to put my name. Or I'm going to put my business name. You really want your business name here. So I'm just going to put Johnson and Harmon. And for from email, it says the email address that emails are sent from. So this is where you're going to want to put the same email as above. So james1@bizwebsitetutorial.com, or for you, whatever your email address is. And just to keep the tutorial really matching, I will end up changing. You're going to want to simply put the same email address as above. And then click on Save and Continue. Then it's going to ask you if it wants to save the password that you just created. You could. So I'll click on Save. Then we want to click on Save and Continue. And then it says Help Improve WP Mail SMTP and Smart Recommendations. So this is your email address so you can receive recommendations. I would skip this step personally. Enter your WP Mail SMTP license key. We don't have to do this. So we just have to click on skip this step. Now we've successfully set up our WP Mail SMTP. So all that means is we've set up our contact form to successfully send real emails to our email address. So I'm going to click on Send a Test Email. Where it says Send a Test Email, let's put our new email that we just created. So I'm going to put james1@bizwebsitetutorial.com, and then I'm going to click on Send Email. And then it says Success. Test HTML email was sent successfully. So now we're going to want to check and see if that was really the case. So we're going to go over to our SiteGround tab, and our email address, we're going to want to go to where it says Actions, left click on those three dots, and do Log in to Webmail. And it will open a new tab, and you can see Johnson and Harmon at the top, and you can see Test Email to james1@bizwebsitetutorial.com. So now we successfully have a business email address, we have it linked to our website, and we can check our email through siteground.com. But you might say, it's really kind of difficult to log in my SiteGround every time I just want to check my business email. Isn't there another way to do it? And there is. We could use a program called Thunderbird, or something even like Microsoft Outlook. You could use either of those programs. Thunderbird is a free program and you can download onto your desktop, and you can set it up with the same credentials right here. For email configuration, you're going to want to give it this address right here for incoming server, and then this address for outgoing server. And it has the ports, it has everything you need right here. And then you can set it up so that everything you're getting goes through your Thunderbird email. And then all you have to do is use your desktop email. So I don't know if that's in the scope of this video. If that's something that you are interested in learning, please leave a comment below, and I will consider, based on those comments, whether I will create a new video and show you how to do that. But just so you know, all this information right here is everything you need. The app is called Thunderbird, so all you have to do is download it, and all the configuration is literally right here. And then all your mail would simply go to your Thunderbird, and then all you have to do is open that app to view your mails. You wouldn't have to log in your SiteGround all the time. So that's just something you could do if you want to do it. So if we go back to our website by going to My WordPress and Visit Site, you can see at the bottom of the screen is really the only thing we have to adjust now. And this is called the footer section. So we have a couple of problems. The first problem we have is where it says About. It lists a lot of pages that don't exist. It shows our employees page, which we changed. So this exists, so we know we have that. But then it has Know Your Rights, which doesn't go anywhere. A community page, which doesn't go anywhere. And then a contact page, which does exist. So we want these pages to actually exist. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We also have the wrong logo here. We have the wrong address, the wrong phone number, and the wrong email. And the social media accounts don't go anywhere. So if you don't have any social media accounts, I'll show you what to do there too. For practice areas, this is something that you can completely customize. I'll show you how to do that. And then where it says working hours, it says Monday 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., but it doesn't have the rest of the hours. But then you can see that this is duplicated here where it says working hours, and that does have every day of the week that is a typical working day. So this was duplicated, so I'm going to show you how to delete this section, and then I'll show you how to adjust the working hours to be custom to your business. And then we'll have a fully functioning footer section. And then that will mean you have a complete website from start to finish that you made, that you can customize further, and you can go in and do whatever you want to really make it look right for your business. So let's go and adjust the footer section. So to do that, we're going to want to go to My WordPress and then go to Dashboard. Now we're going to want to go to Settings and then General. At the top it says Site Title and it's set to My WordPress. We're going to want to backspace that out and type in the actual name of your business. So I'm going to put Johnson and Harmon Real Estate Law. Tagline you can put, for example, voted best law firm 2024, or something that's equally important to your business that customers would want to know. So now we've changed our site title and our tagline. So all we have to do is scroll down, click on Save Changes. Now we have to go up to where it says Johnson and Harmon Real Estate Law, so you can see it changed it up there. Click on Visit Site. And then we're going to want to click on Customize. Now we're going to want to go to where it says Footer Builder. Left click on that. So you can see it says Copyright 2024 Johnson and Harmon Real Estate Law. So that looks good. Here I'm going to show you how to edit your social links. So all you have to do is go down here where it says Social. Click this button. And you see it has by default Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you actually have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, then you can leave all three. Well, let's go one by one. So for Facebook, we click on this button right here. And then URL, you simply want to put the link to your Facebook profile. If you don't have a Facebook, then you can simply get rid of it. For Instagram, let's say we don't have an Instagram, all we have to do is click on the X button. But if we do, all we have to do is click on the down arrow and click on where it says URL and paste in the link to our Instagram. So we're going to click X to get out of the Instagram. All we have left is Facebook. So since this is a social icon section, we have to have at least one social media icon. So if you have Facebook, you can use it. But if you have no social media at all, what you want to do is click on this button here to go back. And we're at the bottom here, it says social. You simply want to left click where it says the X next to social. And then it'll get rid of the social icons altogether. And then you can simply click on publish. But that's completely up to you. Then we have our HTML1, which is our logo, which we want to change to our actual logo. So to add the logo, what we have to do here is first delete the one that's currently here. So simply select it and then hit the delete key on your keyboard. So that got rid of the image that was already there. Now we have to add our own logo, and this can be the one you got from Fiverr or one that you already had made. So all you have to do is click up here where it says add media. And if your logo is already up here, you can simply select it from this list. If you haven't uploaded your logo yet, you can go to where it says upload files, select files, and then upload it here. But I'm just going to use this image right here, for example. And I'm going to click insert into post. And now we have a new logo for our footer section. We can also resize the image like this until you get the right size. And now we can move on to the rest of this part of the footer. So I'm just going to delete this for now, and I'm going to insert a different image. I'm going to insert this WordPress image, and now that we have that in there, all we have to do is edit our address, our phone number, and our email. Simply click on where it says text up here, and then right here it has your address. Below that has the phone number, and then it has your email. Now we have our address. All you have to do is change this out to be the real address. So I'm going to put one. And then we have our phone number. So I'm going to change that to my phone number, 1. And I'm also going to show you a little trick here. So I'm going to click, first we're going to change out this email address to be our actual business email address. So now all we have to do is we put on our address. Now all we have to do is put in our phone number, which I've done, and our actual business email address, which I've done. So now we go back to the visual tab and we can see that everything is looking right. So now all you have to do is click on this little left arrow here. Now we go to HTML2. And HTML2 is our working hours. So if you want to change your working hours to be what they actually are, this is where you would do it. I'm going to click on the arrow back because I don't have to do anything right now because this is just a demo site to teach everyone. So I'm going to click that arrow. And where it says widget 1, I'm going to click on that. And you can see it says welcome to block widgets. So I'm going to click on got it. And you can see there's an about section and a working hours section. So the working hours section we don't want. So we're going to want to click on options right here and then click on delete, and that gets rid of that. So that's gone. So that's great. So now I'm going to click out of here where it says about. It says select menu and it says footer about. So now what you have to know is to change these, we have to change it in our menu section. So that's simple enough. So now all we have to do is open a new tab, type in the name of your website. After that, put a front slash and type WP-admin and hit enter. And you should already be logged in, so you should see the same thing that I'm seeing. Then you're going to want to go to where it says appearance on the left-hand side and then go to menus. Now we can see where it says select a menu to edit. At the top it says footer dash about. So that's what we're going to select. So select that. And the only two that we have here that actually look right to me are about us and employees. It doesn't have a home page. It does have a contact page, but the know your rights and community are not real pages. So we're going to want to get rid of these. So that's going to be the first thing we do. Simply click on that arrow and then go to remove. Go to community. Click that arrow, remove. So now we have 3 real pages. We're going to want to add a home page. And you can see all of our pages are to the left here. We have contact, we have a results page. So if you have a results page, then you'd want to add it. So I'm going to click on add to menu. And where that goes before our contact page. So we want it to be in order to. So I'm going to open another tab here. And this is our email tab. So I'm going to backspace that out, type in our website, and I want to look at our menu. So our menu is home, about, employees. It's in that order. So we have, if we go back, we have about and employees, but we don't have home. So we're going to add that. Click where it says custom links. And where it says URL, we're going to type front slash. Where it says link text, we're going to type home. And then click add to menu. And we're going to drag that to the top. So now we have home, about, employees. If we go back to our web page, we can see the next areas is practice areas, results, and then contact in that order. So if we go back to our other tab, we want practice areas. So go back to where it says pages, and you can see it says practice areas. So I'm going to select that, click add to menu, and go and put this in the right order. So it's right after employees. We have practice areas, results, and then contact. So that looks perfect. So now I'm going to click on save menu. And now we're done editing our menu. And now if we go back to where it says Johnson and Harmon. And now if we go back to our tab that says customize. Now you can see we have our menu here, which is not updated yet. And that's just because this page hasn't been updated to know that we've made the change yet, so that's fine. So we're going to click on publish. We're going to want to click on the back arrow. So this is a practice areas section, and this is actually another menu, but these links don't actually exist. So what you could do is have links like this if you want, if you practice multiple areas of law and this makes sense to you. You could go to your menus page, and what you could do is link each one of these to the services page, for example. If you have a page that has all of your services on it, I would link it there. And then so you would want to do where it says URL, you would want to actually put in the URL of the services page. So let's say you had a page called services, you would type front slash services, and let's say for navigation label, let's say you do real estate, you could do real estate, and then if someone clicked on that, it would go to your services page that outlines that yes, we do real estate law and this is what we practice. And then you could have other sections down here that are if you do other areas of law that you also want your visitors to know about, you could do that here. But for me personally, I don't like this section. I don't need this section on my website. So I'm just going to remove it altogether. So I'm just going to click where it says options, and I'm going to click on delete. And then so now we have a blank spot here that anything can go. You could click this plus block where it says plus, and you could simply click on paragraph, for example, or heading. Let's click on heading. And I'm just going to put why choose us question mark, and then I'm going to click on the little plus. I'm going to click on paragraph, and then I'm just going to put we have been voted ... just as an example of some text you could put. And then I'm going to click on publish. Now you can see that there is an issue with this. The text is a little bit dark here. I could show you how to make that light, but it's kind of out of the scope of this tutorial. Well, I'm just kind of showing you how you could go about customizing this on your own. But I'm actually going to delete this whole thing. This is just to kind of show you. I'm going to left click this header and then click the three dots, click on delete. I'm going to left click this text, left click on the three dots and go to delete. And again, if you have any issues with your website, you can always reach out to me by email, and if I have the time, I will certainly help you out. And then it says working hours, and then we have our hours here, and then everything looks good. So now I'm just going to click on publish, and we are good to go. So I'm going to want to click on the X, and we have officially gone over from top to bottom how to set up this lawyer's website from start to finish with a brand new logo, with a brand new business email, with a contact form. So the first thing that we want to do is mouse over the top right here, and then click on Dashboard. So we want to go to where it says WP Forms, and then go down to where it says Settings and click on it. And then in the third tab it says CAPTCHA. You're going to want to click on that. And then we're going to select reCAPTCHA. And we're going to stick with V2. Then we're going to want to right click where it says Read Our Walkthrough and click on Open Link in New Tab. Now we want to scroll down. And now we're going to want to click this link that says Google's reCAPTCHA Admin Console. Where it says Label, put the name of your website. Where it says reCAPTCHA Type, click where it says Challenge. Where it says Domains, put the domain of your website. And click on Submit. Now we have two keys, a secret key and a site key. Click where it says Copy Site Key. And go back to our WP Forms page. Left click in the box, right click, and do Paste. Go back to our reCAPTCHA page. Click where it says Copy Secret Key. Go back to our WP Forms page. Go to where it says Secret Key and paste that in. Now you want to click on Save Settings. Now what we want to do is go back to our WP Forms where it says All Forms. Where it says Contact Form, click on Edit. Next, click where it says Settings. Click on Notifications. Scroll down. Where it says Email Subject Line, I think we're going to want to change that to New Business Email Inquiry. Where it says From Name, we're going to want to put the name. So I'm going to put my name, James. And then I'm going to want to click on Save. So this looks good. Then we're going to want to go up here to where it says Send to Email Address. And it says Admin Email. You're going to want to backspace that all out. And then put in your actual email address that you created before. So I'm going to put james1@bizwebsitetutorial.com. All you have to do now is hit the Save button. Next, go to where it says Fields. Click on it. Where it says reCAPTCHA, click on it. Now you see on the top right it says reCAPTCHA enabled. Click on Save. And we're all done with that. Now we want to test our form. So what we have to do is open a new tab. I'm just going to use the tab we just had open. Type in the name of our website. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. And you should see an I'm Not a Robot section at the bottom. So we're going to want to type in your name. I'm going to type my personal email address. I'm going to skip the phone number and I'm going to put test for the message. I'm going to click where it says I'm not a robot. And then click Get Help Now. So this says thanks for contacting us. We will be in touch with you shortly. So now all we have to do is check our webmail. And I don't know if you still have that tab open or not, but I can show you how to get there one more time. Go to your SiteGround admin panel. So open up siteground.com. Click on Login if you're not already logged in. Click where it says Hosting. Click on Manage. Where it says Hosting Plan, click Settings. Where it says Websites, click on Settings. Click where it says Site Tools. Click where it says Email. Click Accounts. Find your email address. Click where it says Actions, the 3 dots, and then click on Login to Webmail. Now you can see where it says New Business Email Inquiry. And it has my personal email address here, as well as the test message. Now we know if someone submits a form, you're going to get that email. You can see we have gone from start to finish. We have gone from home page all the way to contact page. I've shown you how to edit pages. I've shown you how to add pages. I've shown you how to get a brand new logo. I've shown you how to add a new business email address. And I've shown you how to customize our forms so that you can get custom emails to your business email address from the form on your website. All I ask is that if you did like the video and you found it useful, is to just hit the like button, leave me a comment in the comment section so I know that it was helpful to you. And also, if you had any trouble in any areas, I would love that feedback so I know for future videos. That would really help me out. So thanks so much for watching. And again, if you need any help with your website and you run into any issues, simply send me an email. I'll leave it in the description below, and I'll do my best to help you out if I have the time. Thanks and have a good day. Bye-bye.